welcome to the More Free Time Portland podcast. Do you feel like there's just not enough time in your day? Overwhelmed with all the responsibilities of life? This podcast was designed to give you practical tools and resources to not only get more free time, but to help you thrive as a mom, wife, and busy professional and help you win back your day. If you're receiving tons of value from this podcast, subscribe, rate, and review so that we can help more people like you. Now, on to the show with me, your host, Ashley Whaley. Hello! Oh my goodness, as always, I am so pumped to be here. And today I want to share something that has been on my heart. And as always, my biggest goal is to add value to your life. And today, I really want to talk about the power of keeping a positive mindset amongst the chaos. So there have been so many changes in our lives over the last few months. Looking back, quarantine set place in March, and COVID just kind of took over everybody's world, and there's just been so many changes, and I think it's so easy to get caught up in the fear and anxiety that comes with the unknown. So when social distancing set in and quarantine hit and schools closed and life basically got flipped upside down for a minute or for what's going on for months and months and months, I knew, just because I know myself, and like John Maxwell says, you have to know yourself to grow yourself. I knew that I would need some positive distractions and that I would need to triple down on my positive input. So morning routine has been an absolute game changer, which I talked about on a previous episode, but I will just refresh your mind of what that looks like, and hopefully, what is that saying? Repetition makes things click. That's totally not the saying, but we're going to go with that. But the power of repetition can really just reinforce those positive outlooks on our mind. And so I'm just going to give you a little bit of refresher of what my positive input looks like in the morning. So I wake up 2 to 3 hours before my kids to simply just have time to myself. It is seriously the best, and I really look forward to it. I never used to be a morning person at all, but once I really started making that time specifically for myself, where I don't need to do anything for anybody else, it is all about me during that time, it has just made just such a great positive impact in my day and my life and for those around me, because I'm just a happier person when I get that time to myself. And so that positive input really is everything. And so during that time when I wake up really slowly. I am definitely not one to leap out of bed. I wish I was, and maybe I will be, but that's just not me. So I wake up slowly. I drink a delicious cup of coffee or 2 or 3. I love to scroll Pinterest for positive quotes, and I have a huge faith, so being in the Word is definitely very important, so I dive into the Word. I will write in my prayer journal, and I will read 10 pages out of a positive book. I utilize a gratitude and goal-setting practice. I'll plan out my day, and ideally, I will get a workout in. So I know that is a lot of things, and some of you are probably like, whoa, that is way too many things. I could never do all those things in that amount of time. And you guys, it's taken me a while to establish all of those things, and it doesn't always go perfectly, but the whole goal behind these things is to flood my mind with positive input so that I am prepared for whatever life decides to throw at me throughout the day. And we all know that there is just so many things that happen throughout the day where we're constantly, putting out fires and, breaking up our kids from arguments or answering all the questions and making all of the decisions throughout the day. You think about all the decisions that we make in a day, especially for those of us that have kids, and it can just get exhausting. And so having that just flood of positive input first thing in the morning just makes a world of difference. And so there are certainly mornings that these just don't go perfect. And so I give myself a lot of grace. Nobody is perfect. And sometimes things just don't go according to plan. And it just is what it is. So, but what I found is that these things have become such a habit that I truly look forward to this special time in the morning. And the reason why I look forward to it so much is because of the massive benefit that comes from getting all that positive input first thing in the morning. So maybe you are feeling funky. Maybe you're feeling overwhelmed and you're just not finding time to do any of the things you want to do, let alone create this, precious time in the morning for yourself. Well, I know I sound a little bit like a broken record here, but if you find yourself leaning more towards the negative side more often than the positive side, and you just find yourself, maybe feeling gossipy or just, having a lot of doubt and just a lot of those real negative thoughts, take a look at what you're feeding your mind. Are you constantly feeding it with negative social media? Are you constantly watching the news? Because, oh my goodness, the news is it's all it is negative. I can only take so much of the news. And I know a lot of people who get sucked into negative social media and negative news, and it comes out in their conversation, and it's really, really hard to be around those people. So maybe take a look at what you're watching, what you're listening to. And another one of those things that can be a large player in the negative mindset is poor association. So who are you surrounding yourself with? What are the people around you speaking? What are they talking about? Are they more positive than negative, or are they more negative than positive? Because our association plays such a huge role on how we think, how we speak. And so I've just become very aware of our association. And so that might be something to think about as well. So those are just a little bit of food for thought there. But if you have not established time for yourself to take care of your mind, body, and spirit, I would just highly encourage you to do so. It's so important, especially for those of us who are moms. Our kids watch every move that we make. They listen to everything that we say. Our daughters, they're always right by my side. They are always asking me questions and looking up to me. And so I take it as a huge responsibility to be a positive role model, especially in their life, because I want them to think of their mama as happy and joyful and, practicing grace and gratitude. And so they are really my biggest why, and why I choose to flood my mind with so much positive input. So a couple other things are, throughout the day, I am listening to more positive podcasts than I am music. I am also reading more than watching TV. And there is a plethora of positive podcasts on Spotify. You just have to find people that you connect with and that speak to you and that will help you move forward. There are so many amazing podcast hosts that have just impacted my life, because some of these multi-millionaire coaches out there and authors and speakers, I don't have the blessing of knowing them, but I feel like I get to know them through their podcasts, and they have just impacted my life and my family's life in such a positive way. And I'm just so thankful that we have that outlet with that platform. So Spotify is a great place to really find some positive podcasts that you can get in your ear on your morning commute if you're back to commuting, at the gym if you're back to the gym, or if you're doing your outdoor workouts or your at-home workouts. If you're just feeling funky, put on a positive podcast. I'm telling you, it is going to make a world of difference in your life. Let's see here. So a couple other things before I wrap up, but I love, love, love to read. I never used to love to read. I just never made time for it, really. And then I started dating my husband, and he loved to read. He was always feeding his mind with positive input, and he's definitely turned me on to reading. And one of the very first personal development books that I read was Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And that really just opened my mind to this world of incredible books that can help you move forward. And some books that have really helped me with mindset I've got a list of them here, and there's a ton of them out there, but these are just some of my favorites that I have read personally, some of them multiple times, and that have just really been a game changer to help me control my mindset. And the first one is Mindset by Carol Dweck. That book, if you have not read it, and if mindset is one of those words that you keep hearing and you want to learn more about it, I would highly encourage you to read that one. I tried to read it a number of years ago and I just couldn't get into it, but I read it just a handful of months ago again, and it was just eye-opening to me to really discover the power of mindset. And we all have a choice whether or not we want to focus on a growth mindset or a fixed mindset. And a growth mindset is definitely what I am after, and I will continue to seek that growth mindset perspective. Another great book is Grit by Angela Duckworth. The power of grit and what it takes to overcome and not give in and not quit. That is a really great book. Battlefield of the Mind by Joyce Meyer. That book I've read 2 or 3 times, and it's very religious, but it is such a good book, you guys. So Battlefield of the Mind. Girl, Wash Your Face by Rachel Hollis. I am such a fan of Rachel Hollis and all of her books and her podcast and her Start Today brand and everything. She has made a huge positive impact on my life for sure. The Gifts of Imperfection by Brene Brown. Brene Brown has a ton of valuable information out there to help you with your mindset and get that positive input in. Switch on Your Brain by Dr. Carolyn Leaf. That is an excellent read. And Wired That Way by Marita Littauer. And I totally could have just butchered her name, so I'm so sorry if I did. But all those books, excellent, excellent reads. And just, type into Amazon what you're looking for as far as a book goes, and there's so much out there, you guys. Or ask a friend what they're reading. And I look at a book as like a prescription. If you need help with your communication, you can find a book that's going to help you with your communication. If you need help with parenting, you can look at figure out some parenting books, and there's tons of those out there. But books are one of the best ways to really flood your mind with that positive input. So those are just some recommendations there. And some other things that have helped me amongst the chaos, especially during this season, is being in really great communication with my husband. We are always talking and, talking things out, being very mindful of our day, of our time, and having that great communication with him has been an absolute blessing. And I'm just so thankful that we have, such great communication. And I'm also very mindful of who I take advice from. And I'm always, always focused on our family vision and why we do what we do. Because if you don't know why you're doing what you're doing, it can definitely play a real negative role on your mindset. So really being clear on how you want to live, right? So one other quick thing that has been very helpful is a powerful cat nap. Yes, a nap. I love a quick nap, and I definitely don't get to nap nearly as often as I would love to. But for those of us that maybe hit a wall, that afternoon wall where we're just feeling like blah and just tired and I have found that if I can close my eyes for 20 to 30 minutes, it's not even necessarily that I'm actually sleeping for 20 to 30 minutes. I'm just basically taking a quick rest. It just refreshes me and gives me just the right amount of energy to really tackle the rest of the day. So if you have it in your schedule where you can take a quick power nap, oh my goodness, it has totally changed how my afternoons play out. Usually all the time. After I take a nap, I'm like, oh yes, okay, I'm ready to tackle the day. I can totally continue on through my tasks with an upbeat attitude, and I just feel re-energized. So dive into the positive input, my friends. Figure out what you need, and you will be amazed at what it will do for you. So I hope this was helpful, and I just appreciate you all, and until next time. Hey guys, thanks so much for listening. If you found value in this podcast, we'd love it if you would subscribe, rate, and review. And please share it with a friend. We love making friends, so let's please connect on social. You can find me on Instagram at Ashley T. Whaley or our cleaning company at More Free Time Cleaning. Until next time, bye guys.